Thank you guys so much for being here. This is just a great just privilege for us to share our stories with you. And what I wanted to share with you tonight is a conversation that I had last fall that really helped me to realize just how powerful my story was. And it was about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and my cell phone rang. No different than any other call. And I answered it, hello. But what I didn't know was just how important that call was going to be. Because the voice on the other end of the line said, I understand you know a lot about abortion. So I took a deep breath, and I thought, oh, okay, I have no idea where this conversation's about to go, right? So I took a deep breath, I asked God for wisdom, and I confidently said, yes, I do. My name's Denisha, how can I help you? And she went on to tell me that she was 7 weeks pregnant and that she had decided to have an abortion. And what she wanted to know is if I would recommend her taking the abortion pill or having the abortion procedure. And we had a mutual friend, and my mutual friend said, oh, you gotta call my friend. She knows a lot about abortion. So that is how she ended up getting my number. So the first thing I did was ask her about her story. You know, how did you find yourself here? How did you come to the conclusion to have an abortion? And I told her that I'm happy to answer any questions you have. And I said, I just want to tell you, though, I really hope that you have this baby, that you decide to keep your baby. But I said, no matter what you decide, I will always be here for you. I will walk with you. And that was a really hard thing for me to say because I didn't know what her decision was going to be. But all I kept thinking is, that's what Jesus would have told her. So she went on to tell me that her mom told her that it's not a baby, don't worry, it's early enough at 7 weeks, it's just a blob of tissue, not a baby. To which I replied to her, oh, I completely understand why your mom feels this way. This is what we're told, right? This is what we're told out there is it's just a blob of cells. I said, but did you know, friend, your baby has its own distinct heartbeat right now? And did you know that your baby can feel pain right now? And are you familiar with DNA? Because right now in your baby is a completely separate DNA code from yours. And there's a good chance that you may even have a different gender within your body right now in your baby. And so I told her her baby was whole and that we just couldn't quite see the whole baby yet, but that baby was a living and distinctly different person than she was right at that moment. All it needed was time to grow up. So after talking for about 45 minutes, we became kind of fast friends. And then I said, friend, do you mind if I share my story with you? She said, absolutely. And I said, you know, you and my mom have a lot in common because she was once in your shoes. She was scared. She found herself in an unexpected pregnancy. She had a daughter who was 18 years old, no children in between, and she was facing some trouble with the law. So she found herself scared, listening to all the voices that were around her, trying to wrap her mind around her own desires and fears. And she was also deciding whether she should keep her baby or abort, just like you are. I went on to say, you mentioned when you were deciding to have an abortion, you were curious the difference between the abortion pill or the procedure. Well, my mom had both. In October, she found out that she was pregnant, to her surprise. So in November, she decided to terminate her pregnancy by taking the abortion pill. At the time, it was off the market. It was 4 white pills, 2 white pills to stop the growth of the baby, and the second white pills to expel the baby from her body. And I said, those are the pills you were asking about. And I said, so she took those in November, and to her surprise, in December, she was still pregnant. So she went and made an appointment with her doctor, and she had the abortion procedure. The other procedure you asked about, she had a D&C. In February, to her shock, she was still pregnant. And at that time in the state of California, she was too far along to attempt another abortion procedure. Now today, she would not have been too far along in many different places, but at that time, she was too far along. So that July, that baby was born full term, and that baby was me. So I survived 2 abortions on my life. And so when our friend told you that I knew a lot about abortions, she was kind of right. So we talked for a bit until she said 4 words that stopped me in my tracks. And she said, "You're like my baby." And at that moment, I realized how powerful my story was. And I said, you know, friend, I am, but you have the opportunity to make a different choice than my mom did. You can have this baby. You can be a good mom. There are some great resources out there. You don't have to do it alone. So at the end of our conversation, she agreed to let me take her to our local pregnancy center. And then it was on a Monday, and on Wednesday, she called me, and she chose life for her child. So for me, I found out my story when I was 42 years old. And there's no difference between who I am now and who I was as an embryo that would allow it to be morally permissible to end my life, no more than it would be morally permissible to end my life right now. Yet did you know that you're more likely to be murdered in the womb than anywhere else in the world? Those are some crazy statistics. You know, some people believe that a baby is a blob of tissue, and I understand that, because we're being fed such a rich diet of this in our culture. But friends, you came here tonight to hear differently. You came here tonight, and we have a choice, right? We can either hold those two contradictory views in our minds at the same time, or we can begin to use our voice, our time, our treasure to support organizations such as the Abortion Survivors Network. It's a crazy opportunity that we have to uniquely humanize the unborn and to give a voice to the voiceless. And so, friends, I just want to say, if we can't get the right to life right, we're not going to get any rights right. So thank you so much for being here tonight.